Hello, my esteemed viewers. In the previous two lecture series on AI, the AI in hindsight, we discussed where some intricacies, the concept of intelligence, the natural intelligence in animals, the insects, and the AI as a new school of thought were explored. And we also discussed the ways to measure intelligence and ways to define the intelligence. We try to understand as to how intelligence can be defined. Tough though. In this tutorial, the allied branches of AI or the related branches of AI will be clearly explained, and we will make a very brisk walk on these vistas which will lead to different branches of AI. Of course, central to AI is a human being. It is indeed easiest way to think of AI. Okay, in order to think of AI, we need to consider human beings, because human beings are intelligent animals we know of. The possible reason being the presence of the brain, which evolved starting from the minute creature through chimpanzees and to humans. In Indian mythology in general and Bhagavad Gita in particular, there are shlokas that pertain to human brain. I am going to read out two pertinent shlokas or verses which aim to define what exactly the brain is. Smrutir medha dhrutir kshama. That is, the brain is the focal point of the memory, the intelligence, the determination and forbearance. There is another shloka telling Matah smrutir gnanam apohanam cha. That is, the brain is a focal point of memory, the wisdom, and also the forgetfulness. Therefore, the easiest way to think of AI is in the context of human beings or humans. Now, AI is considered as a broad interdisciplinary branch of computer science. However, the goal of AI is to develop or construct systems that can behave or that can function intelligently and also independently with very less human intervention. Humans can speak and listen through a communication language. They can understand the mood of other communicator just by the pronunciation, sometimes just by some of the mannerisms, even if accents are different, and the other human being who will be listening to some other human being will be able to interpret, will be able to understand, and will be able to rehearse, will be able to give a befitting action. And this is the field of speech recognition. Much of the speech recognition is a huge statistical processing because it involves various steps like acoustic modeling, phonetics identification, syllable identification, word identification, and sentence identification. Therefore, this branch of AI is also called aptly as statistical learning. Humans can read the text, interpret, and they can also write the text in a language, and without any iota of doubt they will be able to understand when they go through a literature or the textual matter, and they will be able to comprehend this, they will be able to interpret this, they will be able to write this in their own way. And this is the field of NLP, or natural language processing. NLP facilitates the interaction between computers and humans using the natural language. The ultimate objective of NLP is to read, to decipher, to understand, and to make sense of human languages in a manner that is valuable by the machines, okay, or enabling the machines to do how exactly in the similar way as to how the human beings deal or use the languages, natural languages. Human can see with their eyes the surroundings, the scenario. They will be able to take a clear cognizance of what they see, even if some of the intricate details are missing in the scene. This is the field of computer vision, okay, enabling machines to take the cognizance of the scene which is presented, maybe in the form of a picture, maybe in the form of an image, maybe in the form of a video. Okay, and computer vision is an AI branch that trains the computers to interpret and to understand the visual world using digital images from cameras and videos and deep learning models. Machines can accurately identify and classify the objects and then react to what they see. And human beings can recognize the scene around them with their eyes, which creates the images of the world are seen in their brain. This is the field of image processing. Though image processing is not directly connected to AI, image processing is a precursor for computer vision, because this field will make the image through the algorithms, and it is a field basically, or it is image processing is a method to perform some operations on an image in order to get an enhanced image or to extract some useful information from it. It is a type of signal processing in which input is an image and output may be an image or a characteristic features or features associated with the image. Nowadays, image processing is among rapidly growing technologies. It forms core research area within engineering and computer disciplines too. And image processing is a basic founding block or founding stones for the thorough study of computer vision, which is actually a branch of AI. Humans can understand, they can demarcate the surroundings, they can identify the barricades, they can identify the blocks, and they can move around or navigate with lot of fluidity and lot of let us say agility, and this is the field of robotics. They will be able to navigate any obstructions. This is the field of robotics. Robotics involves design, construction, and operation and use of robots. The goal of robotics is to design machines that can help and assist human beings. Human beings can clearly identify the pattern, and they will be able to relate this particular pattern to the actual thing or actual entity. And this is the central point of a flower, the sepals, and this is some kind of a design that is being developed in the sunlit clouds, in the sunlit sky. And this is the skin of a leopard, and human beings will be able to identify that these are all vegetables, and they will be able to just castigate or take out a particular vegetable with all the clarity, and they will be able to classify them, they will be able to group them. As far as pattern recognition is considered, machines are far better than human beings, because they can use more data, and they can also use more dimensions of the data, that is more features of the data. And this is the field of machine learning, and this is also a field of pattern recognition. Pattern recognition is the process of recognizing patterns or the designs or the structures in the data or in the scenario presented to them or in an image presented to them by using machine learning algorithms. Pattern recognition can be defined as the classification of data based on knowledge already gained or on statistical information extracted from patterns and or their representation. This is the field of pattern recognition, which has found the place of sanctity in artificial intelligence circles. Of course, coming back to human brain, it is made out of several components. It is said that it is made out of 10 to the power of 11 neurons that are connected with a deep connection. Human beings use these neurons, or human brains use these neurons to learn things. If we can model or replicate the structure or the way in which the brain works, the function of brain, if we can develop the model which will vaguely mimic the function of a brain, we can induce the cognitive capabilities in the machines. This is the field of artificial neural networks. An artificial neural network is the piece of a computing system designed to simulate the way the human brain analyzes and processes the information. It is the foundation of artificial intelligence. And in this particular field, solution to problems that would prove impossible or difficult by humans or statistical standards, by any statistical standards. Of course, if these networks are made complex and deeper to learn complex things, okay, and whenever human beings encounter complex situations, the entire layers are involved in the thinking process. The electrochemical reactions will happen, and the information is assimilated, and it will be understood, and appropriate comprehension is done, or appropriate interpretation is also done by human beings. And if you can model this deep thinking model of the brain, what we evolve in artificial intelligence as a branch is deep learning. Deep learning is all about, it's a subset of machine learning in artificial intelligence that deals with the artificial neural networks capable of learning unsupervised form of data that is unstructured or unlabeled. That means it is a mathematical, it's an algorithmic model which is nothing but neural networks having multiple layers, each and every layer taking the intricate complexities of the problem. And as deep neural learning, and this is also known as deep neural learning or deep neural network. These networks are complex and deeper, and they will learn complex things that leads to the field of what is called as deep learning. Therefore, they are so called. There are different kinds of deep learning models, which are basically different techniques meant to replicate human brain, the functioning of the human brain. This is exactly the area of deep learning. If a complicated image is presented to human beings or given to human beings, they would closely watch them, and they will intimately take a look at that, and they will, in order to do this, they will scan the image left to right, maybe top to bottom, to discern the contents of the scene to utmost accuracy or to utmost clarity, and they recognize objects. This is the area of convolutional networks. And convolutional networks are the models developed to do this task. This is how computer vision sets in and object recognition happens through AI. Convolutional networks, in order to briefly, for the sake of completeness, we have the definition of convolutional networks in terms of their functionality, in terms of their architecture. Convolutional networks are neural networks used primarily to classify the images. That is, they will label what they see, they will name what they see, they will be able to cluster the images by similarity, that is photo search, and perform object recognition within the scenes. For example, convolutional neural networks called as convnets or CNNs are used to identify faces, individuals, street signs, tumors, and many other aspects of visual data. Human beings, they can recall the past, like the bad scenarios they have undergone, bad situations they have undergone, sordid situations, and the experiences in the past, good experiences, bad experiences, lovable experiences, cherishable experiences. They are capable of recalling, and they will be again and again at different points of time will be enjoying, or will be putting themselves into some kind of a deep thoughts, or some kind of a moral letdown, or some kind of a depression also. And this is neural networks, recurrent neural networks. Recurrent neural networks are said to be memory models like human brains. Of course, not to the extent of human brains, and this is an area which is subjected to evolution, and lot of research is going on in this particular area. And recurrent neural network, or RNNs as they are called, is a class of artificial neural networks where connections between the nodes form a directed graph along a temporal sequence. Temporal sequence means along the time scale. This allows it to exhibit temporal dynamic behavior. RNNs, that is recurrent neural networks, can use their internal state, that is memory, to process variable length sequences of inputs whenever they approach. Recurrent neural networks are the AI models that simulate this human capability of remembering things and recalling the past, and the brain as a memory model. So we see that there are two ways of defining AI, or there are two AI branches out into symbolic learning, and other branch is machine learning. Machine learning is little data based, huge data based, because if human beings use experiences to learn or in order to predict, machine learning as a branch of AI will use the data presented to them. And symbolic learning uses symbols like zeros and ones in order to process the data, and image processing is one such thing. And symbolic learning once again branches out into robotics and computer vision. Here in this direction, in the other part of the tree, we will have pattern recognition and machine learning through ANNs, because they are the memory models, or the models of the brain. And as a variant of ANN, there is deep learning, and deep learning breaks into two categories, that is convolutional neural networks and recurrent networks. So one is symbolic based and other one is data based, as we told earlier. Now CNN and computer vision. Computer vision is the outcome of the CNN in some cases, and it is a model, it is a brain model which has its roots in deep learning as far as artificial intelligence is concerned. Machine learning has also another branch called as statistical learning. Statistical learning will enable the machines to recognize the speech and to deal with natural language processing as the human beings do. With this we conclude in this particular session, that is lecture series 3, various allied branches of AI, and have their origin in the way human beings visualize, take the cognizance and show befitting response that are context specific, has been told or has been discussed with ample examples or exemplars. AI techniques mimic these traits of human beings to utmost parity with the help of algorithms, or will the help of the models, AI models. So with this we will conclude, and this particular lecture series 3 in the series. And if you liked this video, kindly subscribe.